At 19, got the real estate license. At 21, I bought my first property. At 22, I was a multi-millionaire. Over 100 of my employees tattooed my company logo on their body. I was ballooning up to 315 pounds, did a gastric sleeve surgery, lost 50 pounds and then gained 70, lost my muscle mass, got sleep apnea, was getting hospitalized because I took a shortcut.
I actually had a condition called diastasis recti. I had an 8-finger separation. You could put 8 fingers straight between my abs. And almost 50% of moms have it. You can only take care of it in the first year or two. We were able to close my gap non-surgically. We featured it in the first documentary for 10 seconds just to show people I gained 12 pounds of muscle in a matter of 10 months, all naturally. My protein powder was pea protein.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Level Up Podcast. This is Paul Alex. Guys, we are currently ranked top 4 in all categories because of you guys. Thank you for allowing us to be top 4 in just under 2 years. Now, I have a wonderful power couple here. They are in media, they're in production, they are in real estate, they are in the health, fitness, biohacking, which you guys know. If you guys have been following me on my socials, Paul Alex on Instagram, you guys know that I've been taking my health very, very seriously. So I'm looking forward to this interview. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So guys, for the people that don't know who you guys are, please tell us who you guys are.
Well, I'm Anthony Lolli. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Lolli Brands Entertainment, and I'm also a co-editor-in-chief of Biohack Yourself Media.
Nice.
And I'm TereZa Lolli, Vice President at Lolli Brands Entertainment and the co-editor-in-chief and founder with my husband of Biohack Yourself Media, Biohack Yourself Magazine.
I love it. I love it. And as you guys know, in the very beginning of, right before the podcast, we talked about the podcast being about self-help. Were you guys always entrepreneurs?
Ooh.
He was.
Yeah.
He was probably just born like that. Yeah, entrepreneurial.
Yeah, I
Maybe you can
started
touch on
in real estate at the age of 19, but before that I had launched many mini businesses, bed and breakfasts, and I'd always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I had that spirit. I was born with it. But I took it really serious at 19, got the real estate license. At 21, I bought my first property. At 22, I was a multi-millionaire. Launched my own real estate brokerage, scaled it, then launched a billboard company and a series of other businesses thereafter.
And then at the age of 19, did you have like a mentor? Were your parents in real estate? What type of environment were you raised in?
Well, my mother was an immigrant from Ecuador, lived in an abandoned building, only had $20 to her name.
Wow.
My dad was a school teacher of Italian descent, a World War II veteran and a public school teacher. So I didn't come from a wealthy family at all. So I was the first one to kind of create generational wealth within my family.
Wow, you're the bloodline breaker.
Yeah.
And how did you guys meet?
Ooh, go
Very
ahead.
interesting. Just totally by accident. So my background is I was born and raised in Armenia. Definitely not an entrepreneur. Never seen entrepreneurial kind of experiences. We were more like Soviet Union, thought process of just hardworking doers, right? But I also had this like real creativity and just imagination. Like that's very deeply developed inside of me. So at 20, I immigrated to the United States. I graduated, with my accounting degree, and I quickly went into the arts and entertainment. I became an actor. I was in a few movies on Netflix with Corey Feldman and moved to New York to pursue that heavily, but as well as recording, because my passion was also music and entertainment. So I was building my album with Warner Brothers, and I had a band. I called it Velvet Tornado. It was an all-female pop rock band, and
Love that.
I was the lead. And one day I was getting ready for a performance, and my violinist totally called out, and was definitely not a good situation. So I had to go and interview backups. So as I was interviewing my violinist, he was actually holding a meeting with the private
equity company, and we were, scaling and franchising. I had franchised my company from 1 location to 100 locations. So
Amazing.
The meetings were getting bigger and bigger and more serious. And so coincidentally, I'm having a meeting about royalties, and I'm talking to this group.
Yeah.
She overheard the conversation, thought we were in the entertainment industry because that's where royalties come in. And when my meeting was over, she goes,
royalty that.
she's a good networker. And so she goes, excuse me, are you guys in the music industry? And I leaped over and I said, yes, we are. And then we became friends, and I was her mentor for about 3-4 months.
I love that.
Yeah.
Until we decided to kind of take things more seriously, yeah.
That's amazing. And how long have you guys been married now?
13 years.
Yeah, 13 years.
Oh, that's beautiful.
We have 2 kids together.
Yes.
Yeah, a son and a daughter.
And then I know that your kids are now, or they have their own business.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
Yeah.
What type of business are your kids currently in, and how are you supporting them doing that?
Well, our kids were born into the industry because of us. So
Yeah.
my wife was, literally curating their career since them being in the belly, yeah?
Well, but basically because I knew the industry backwards and forwards, and I didn't want to pursue my career because I didn't want to be away from them.
Yeah.
I said it'd be awesome to pursue their career, and I'll be with them, managing them. So it was actually refreshing to know that the kids had such beautiful personalities that they were easy to deal with, easy to book. So they ended up collectively booking about 100 jobs together, Love and Legend. They started at 14 days old. And it's funny, our daughter always says, well, I started my career at just 14 days old. And then our son says, oh yeah, I started at 2 months old. I slacked off for the first 2 months of my life.
I love
it's
that.
a funny saying, but they did really well, and the industry actually helped shape them in a very interesting way where they were constantly in adult environments. And when you're a kid, right? Imagine you're a kid, close your eyes. You only go to like a music class, a mommy and me place, or a yoga place, right? And you're only interacting with kids your age, maybe slightly older, and the moms of the other kids who are not going to be gush all over you, right? Gushing all over you. Whereas our kids were constantly on movie sets with like 50 adults all gushing over them.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Can you imagine the level of confidence? They're walking around thinking, wow, I must be special.
No, absolutely.
Because everyone is all about me.
Yeah.
So I feel like it totally shaped them. At the age of 6, we stopped that side of things, like the auditioning and booking, because they were doing pretty good, like national commercials and off-Broadway and Netflix movies. Our son was actually the co-star of Martin Scorsese's daughter's film that premiered at Cannes Film Festival.
Wow.
So they did really well, very talented. And then they decided to shift, since we were in the biohacking field.
Yeah.
They said, can we do your movies? Like, can you guys cast us? So we started taking them with us on set, and they had some meaningful questions to ask to these experts. So they fell in love with the world, and they fell in love with self-optimization, self-help, and really understanding their cells, their little babies, they call them. These are our babies, the cells. We're going to take care of them. And they bring this whole different outlook to health and longevity for us. So we start looking at longevity from their eyes, and it's very refreshing. So now they're actually journalists with Biohack Yourself. They go around to different events. They interview some of the leading experts. Our son does, biohack battles and does challenges and push-ups. It's very fun.
I love that. And then with them having such a busy routine.
Yeah.
How about school? Let's talk about that.
Yeah,
So
so-
do you guys homeschool? Is it public school, private school? What do you guys currently
So-
do?
We've done so many different types of schooling.
Yeah.
A lot of our friends want us to do a documentary about for
You guys
new
should.
parents.
It's
Yeah.
important. I did a
Yeah.
post recently on
Yeah.
this. Me and my
Yeah.
wife were like, we're going to homeschool our kid. And everybody's
Yeah.
like, what? Can you share the agenda?
Yeah.
What you guys are going to be teaching them?
Yeah.
So it's in the works. We have it. It's called tiers of education, because there's different tiers.
I love that.
And you
then
could
there's
also have
tiers.
tears of sadness or tears of joy.
Wow.
Depending on how you educated your child.
Yes.
So we've gone through almost every tier
Yeah.
you can: public, private,
We've tried
Montessori.
Montessori, we've tried Waldorf, we've tried Christian, Orthodox. So we went into actually a school 6 months at a time, like a semester at a time, and we changed our schools because we wanted to be students. We wanted to be parents in each kind of school, not just tour the schools, right? Because when you're touring, it's just a false impression of like how good they are.
Yeah.
And so we became parents at every single school and understood like what's the burden on the parents, what's the burden on the children, what's the level of expectations. And it was incredible to really dissect everything. At the end of the day, we ended up homeschooling just at the right time when they had developed such incredible abilities of going into any environment and being able to make friends. So they don't have that, a lot of homeschool kids, when they're homeschooling from the get-go, I would say, they tend to be a little bit more introverted.
Yes.
Although that may not exist nowadays because there's communities of homeschool, parents that hang out all the time. But we felt that it was beneficial when the kids kept going to different schools, kept understanding, okay, now we're in this environment, how do we go and conquer this kind of friendship? So it was great. Then at the second grade, we actually moved to homeschooling, and we absolutely love it. We build our own curriculum. We add so many extracurricular activities like debate classes and etiquette classes, and obviously like swimming, like private swimming, private pickleball. What else do we do?
Jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai.
And Muay Thai. We have so much time.
Stunt class.
So much time because they only do 2 hours of learning
Right.
at home with a tutor,
Right.
4 days a week. That's it, education-wise. and they're able to actually retain information. And we're using a public school curriculum because, they don't have to become like math geniuses.
Of course.
As long as they're kind of keeping at pace and loving learning,
Yes.
we're happy with that.
Well, today's environment with ChatGPT and AI, the most important skill you can give your child is agency.
Correct.
They have to know exactly how to be resourceful.
Yes. No, you're absolutely right. And I totally agree with that. My next question was actually going to be, and I think you guys answered it, was how do you guys pick what subjects, or how do you choose the path where you want your child to go? Are you guys having the talks with them saying like, hey, what is it that you guys want to go ahead and grow up, right? Because it might change, right? It's kids. I remember being a kid, I was like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, right? Is it like that for your kids right now?
You remember the kids are always watching you, the
Correct.
parents.
Yeah. Correct.
They're looking to see what you're interested in, what you admire. They want you to be proud of them. They want to be proud of themselves.
Of course.
I think my wife and I do a good job of articulating what makes us proud, what we're interested in this case, health, wellness, longevity.
Yes.
Also wealth. They own real estate. Where you and I met, which was Paul Hutchinson's book signing.
Yes.
The kids won an award in Utah for being the youngest real estate landlords.
I remember you telling me.
And so, they're very proud of that, and they want to do more. They actually gave an amazing speech where they thank the owner of that event for recognizing them.
Yeah, Christian.
And they were like, we'd like to continue the momentum and really just be exemplary.
I think also psychologically, we do both, right? First of all, at a very young age, we expose them to everything. Like I had a whole list of extracurricular activities, like whether it be ballet, taekwondo. Like we said, okay, what are some of the sports we want them to be included? What are some of the artistic things? Like, is it music? Is it playing an instrument? Is it arts? And we literally expose them to so many different things for probably from 1 to, I would say, 6. We were doing 10 classes a week, 10 different classes a week. We were not specializing in anything, which could be disheartening at that particular moment because all of a sudden, this one's kid is doing gymnastic competitions, and there's a lot of moms that push their kids hard in one direction. But we just wanted to really understand, how do they accept everything, right? Because that just gives them this ability of just being absorbent and just being quick to learn things.
Being dynamic.
And what she did a really good job is, doing the appetizer of it and then reintroducing it again. So when they go into the field again, they're like, oh, this is familiar territory. I'm going to ace it.
Yeah.
And then we pull them back out, and then we put them at them again. And now they're even more familiar. So her kind of recipe for bringing it in and microdosing these classes.
And then they take on a few things, right? They really fall in love. Like pickleball. At first, we tried tennis because obviously ping pong, tennis, pickleball, that's the best sport for your brain development. So first we tried tennis. The teacher was too rough. They said, we absolutely don't like this. So we stopped. Then we tried pickleball with a certain private teacher. They're like, yeah, this is decent, but it's hot. So it's just like not clicking, right? We stopped again. Then we found an amazing pickleball location where we went, and now that was a whole different level. They're watching other kids, they're watching girls, they're watching guys, like they're taking it serious. They're like, oh my gosh, like we love pickleball. So now they live and die pickleball.
Well,
right? So
I think they like rejection. Remember, they didn't like make rejection. The pickleball team. They got pissed, they were like, no way.
Yeah.
I wanted. Now they started upping the ante. Now they had a goal.
Swimming
Same
too.
thing happened with swimming.
Yeah.
They didn't make the swim team, and then they said, no, I need coaching. I want to make the swim team, and then they made the swim team.
That's actually, it's refreshing.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because, especially, hiring the younger generation now, myself at 37, I'm hiring a lot of either 18 to about 25 maximum. And there is, for a lot of them, it's their first job. And a lot of them, they're not going to be good at it. That's just the way it is. Yeah. It's a lot of the positions that I hire for is for sales, right? One of my portfolio companies. And what I see, the common denominator is just self-doubt, self-belief, not being able to go ahead and overcome those roadblocks.
Yeah.
But for your kids, it seems like they have that winning mindset of not giving up and perseverance.
Oh, mindset. We put them in debate class.
Yeah.
Sometimes regrettably, because they're very good debaters. I mean, they'll debate as to why they should watch this particular show. I mean, they're really amazing kids to kind of really even have a debate
And it
with.
wasn't always like that, by the way, right? So we also worked hard to, like you said, how do you choose a direction for your child?
Yeah.
And that always something I kept thinking, right? Because you're the mom, you're really kind of in charge of everything. So I love to write things down, right? And my husband is very good at like seeing the future, right? So I would write, let's say, okay, I want her to go to ballet. Then we write the pros, then we write the cons. Like we literally treat this as a job.
Yeah.
How do you choose a direction? So ballet, for example, right? I was really hot and heavy on going to ballet because it's very feminine, it develops the posture, but then there's sassy girls and there's all of that happening. And then he says, she's never going to become a professional ballet, that's a waste of time. So there's all of that happening, right? But then, so we come with our pros and cons to her, and then we say, we think this, we think that, and then she's like, okay, yeah, I think we can skip this. Or, you know what, I do like the pros of this. I think I can see myself doing that. How long do you guys think I should do that to get the pros, and then we move on? So there's a lot of debating, a lot of treating them like adults, even since they were born. Like if I'm changing a diaper, I'm talking like an adult. I'm like, hey, so I'm changing this diaper. I chose the organic diaper. The diaper's name is this, The ingredients of this diaper are this. Like I would literally, he would think I'm crazy.
No, that's amazing.
And I would do massages. I would be like, here, this is a jojoba oil. It's so good for your skin because your skin has to be shiny. And, I would do some real conversations with them since the day they were born, because I thought their subconscious is capturing everything.
Yeah.
Because the brain develops up to 50% in the first year. Can you imagine?
Wow. And most people are not talking to their kids.
Not talking. Or baby talking.
Or they're doing the baby talk.
Yeah.
No, it's like the worst thing.
So they're doing their children a disservice by doing that.
Yeah.
Correct.
Wow.
That's what we
I learned
believe.
something new. Well,
Yeah.
no, and that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the sleep training, I'm super against an anti-sleep training. Like we co-slept with our kids until recently, co-slept with them, right? Because it's the emotional development of feeling safe.
Right.
So the Farber technique is basically put your child in the crib and let them cry it out. It's called a cry it out sleep training.
Right.
At the age of 4 months, your pediatrician is going to say your child is so ready to soothe themselves, and it's going to give them a high level of independence, and they can do this. They're all capable. All the kids do it. It's going to be definitely terrible for you to listen to your child cry for 45 minutes, but it's only 45 minutes.
Right.
The second night, it's going to take 20 minutes, and the third night, 5 minutes, and then they're never going to cry again. They'll be sleeping like a baby. It's amazing. And I come home and I start reading, because I'm a reader, I'm a researcher. I don't stop at one opinion. I don't stop at two. I literally go to like 10 to 20 opinions. And I realize how horrible it is for emotional intelligence to sleep train a child, to let them be alone. Imagine for 45 minutes they're screaming at 4 months old.
Of course.
And nobody's coming to their rescue.
Correct.
So the cortisol level is up, the abandonment level is up, and so that's something else we did to like really develop their empathy towards the world, towards just kindness and empathy and maturity and emotional IQ. I think that was one of the most instrumental things we did.
Wow.
Yeah.
That in itself is a mini masterclass, right, Emilio?
Yeah.
that was good.
Yeah, level up.
I love that.
I mean, that's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, level up parenting. There we go. We got to start a new segment, guys.
Totally.
The fact of the matter is that we all have children for selfish reasons, right? And the fact is, it's a lot like a business. If you don't pay attention to it, it's going to bite back at you.
Correct.
And it's going to diminish your quality of life. Right?
Absolutely.
And so if you have a bad sales force, a negative person, a doubtcaster within your infrastructure, it really ruins. It's like a cancer.
Yeah.
The same thing happens with your kids. If you don't pay attention from the beginning, really nurture them mentally, physically, psychologically, it's going to bite you in the long run.
In all aspects, life by design.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about now the health portion of your guys' journey. Yeah. What made you guys go into the health industry, the health fitness industry right now?
Well, I had an exit of my real estate company. I had started a real estate brokerage. I had scaled it to 100 locations nationally and sold it. I had a famous story. Over 100 of my employees tattooed my company logo on their bodies. As you know, you can easily, with the right type of leadership, make 6- and 7-figure earners in commissions.
Yes.
And so I was able to do that. And so people were very, had the
changed
attitude,
lives,
changed
man.
lives.
You changed lives.
And so that story went viral, and then eventually I exited the company. And I'd always promised my wife, because she was on my back, and the whole family, we had multiple interventions about losing weight. I was ballooning up to 315 pounds, and they kept having these meetings with me. In 2015, I decided to shut them all up, and I did something drastic. I did a gastric sleeve surgery.
Unapproved by
You didn't
my
tell
whole
no
family.
one.
I didn't tell anybody. I lost 50 pounds and then gained 70, lost my muscle mass,
Oh
got sleep
my
apnea,
God.
was getting hospitalized because I took a shortcut, right? If you take shortcuts, you're only going to cut your life short.
Yeah.
And that's what was happening.
Right.
So then I turned around to my family, my wife and the kids, and I said, look, just leave me alone. I'm going to die fat and happy.
Fat and happy.
And then,
What a marketing tagline.
and then my wife, she's really good at vision boards, leveling up the family. And it really,
manifesting.
all that kind of stuff. And so she basically said, is this really what you want to do? So she created a vision board, would put my face on a 6-pack body and said, I believe you can achieve this. I believe you can do this. And then my daughter said, I don't want you to die.
Right.
You're fat. I don't want you to die. So I decided that day to change my life and change the trajectory. And then I treated my body like I needed to level
vision
up.
board photo we made.
I said, I'm going to treat my body. Now I'm in the business of losing weight and saving, fighting for my life.
Yeah.
So I hired help, just like I would if you're going to open up a new, like you're moving your offices to Puerto Rico, right? So
Correct.
you're building the right team, the right infrastructure. I got the right team. Besides getting my family, my mom, my mother-in-law, my whole inner circle support, I brought in outside professional help. Of
course.
I hired a nutritionist. I flew him down to live with us from England, from Ireland rather. He lived with us for a year, took him with me everywhere.
Amazing.
Turned him into a millionaire, and he turned into give me $1 million rock star body. So it was great. We turned that into a documentary, which was called From Fat Lolli to 6-Pack Lolli.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, we released it. It exploded.
I love that.
Men around the world were, messaging saying I was ready to kill myself, just like you.
Yeah.
Until I saw this documentary.
Yeah.
You gave me hope. So that took us in a health and wellness direction where we ended up doing more documentaries in that space because we built a nice audience and we recognized the value of documentaries, much like podcasts. Someone watching this is watching it to level up.
Correct.
Right? They're watching it to apply into their lives.
It's an intention.
Yeah.
And documentaries are the same way. But what's really interesting is the algorithm. So if you watch something on Amazon or on Apple, it automatically recommends what they think you would like.
Correct.
So we started recognizing that the algorithms were pushing our content. So now we have 12 documentaries on Amazon Prime.
And we have won 59 Best Documentary Awards.
Amazing.
Because everything is, we call it edutaining and experiential. Like we're actually going through our journeys and we're going to do it no matter what. We just invite the audience to be with us. So for 7 years, we've been in audience collection business almost, right? And they have been rooting for us and our betterment. And we got to a point where now we're touching the top of the top experts and world leaders in longevity and biohacking, and we're bringing that to the everyday people. So we still feel very humbled to have gone through all these experiences. It was all a mindset shift, I think, right? And his journey definitely put us on this track. And for him, it was important to understand it was no longer weight loss, where we're focusing on pound by pound or calorie by calorie. It was a transformation.
Right.
When we discovered there's an entire transformation world, we put the vision board, it was like that. 9 months, he was able to lose 125 pounds.
Wow.
And then he had a loose skin surgery, and he was on stage, shirtless, where he wouldn't even take his shirt off at home, in bed, or in the pool, right? He would always have his black shirt on. So now he's on stage, and we had that joke. He would be like, well, now we're the Beauty and the Beast, but you're the Beast, babe. Because he became a transformation icon.
Yeah.
So that documentary did very well. And then he said, babe, since you have the mom bod, and I was complaining about my mom bod, and I actually had a condition called diastasis recti, which goes completely untalked about, unspoken about. It's basically the separation of your abdominal walls, and almost 50% of moms have it in some level, right?
Keep an eye on your wife for that. By the way. It happens
if she
very
has
common.
a bigger child, even like my son was 10 pounds, right? So it's almost like having twins. So I had an 8-finger separation. You could put 8 fingers straight between my abs. So that's really bad, because then you start suffering with back pain.
Correct.
And then it turns into osteoporosis later. So it's a real devastating condition if you don't take care of it. And you can only take care of it postpartum, like in the first year or two, before your tissue gets hardened up. So he trained me. We were able to close my gap non-surgically, because we were actually using these bands called Toppler technique bands, TUPLER Toppler technique. That's the only band that actually works. We've tried it all, and he trained me hardcore. I mean, I would plank 3 plates of 45 pounds for 2 minutes. And he made me so strong. I was
deadlifting
deadlifting 225 pounds.
Yeah.
I would squat with him on my shoulders.
225.
225. And
For
I'm
reps,
super,
by the way, for reps.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm petite, right? I never
Yes.
thought I would do it, but resistance training really helped. And he is an expert at becoming an expert at something he likes.
Yeah.
So the 9 months of weight loss project turned into him training me to become a 2-time bikini pro. So when we went and started filming the Super Lollies, which was the sequel to the Fat Lolli, we actually decided to give the audience the inside look to all the different federations and the actual life of a fitness competitor. We said it's not like bodybuilding, it's not all about the muscly guys with steroids. Like, it's not that.
Right.
There is moms, there is grandmas, there's grandpas, there's young people, there's old people,
There's a
people.
transformation category, too.
Transformation category. We basically competed in every single federation out there, interviewed all of the owners of federations, like, what are you looking for in a competitor? This one looks like a Victoria's Secret fashion show. This one is tested, OCB, for example. They tested me, my urine test, my polygraph, so they know you're all natural, right? Because that was a big deal. I was still nursing my son. So just to show people, I gained 12 pounds of muscle in a matter of 10 months. All naturally. My protein powder was pea protein.
Wow.
Like, that's how natural, because he trained me, and we were also on meal plans. Then we continued on to do more documentaries. We did a loose skin surgery documentary by popular demand because people really wanted to see the pre, post, op of the surgery, because we featured it in the first documentary for 10 seconds. And so the surgeon himself came and wanted to do a whole documentary about his procedure. It's an amazing documentary called Skin Deep. We actually won 13 Best Documentary Awards for that one.
Wow.
And then we produced The Guru, which is to this day the most star-studded bodybuilding documentary. We brought on board basically all the OGs, like Kai Green, Dexter Jackson, Flex Wheeler,
Jim Mannion, the guy who owns
Mannion.
Mr. Olympia.
Yeah. Aaron Singerman is in it, and they all came to talk about our star, who's George Farah, who was hit with this very dramatic cancer battle, but then he was able to actually recover through nutrition and health routines.
Wow.
So that was very interesting. We talked about health a lot in that documentary. We also understood that a lot of the bodybuilders were doing some sort of biohacking, but not the full package. Like, one was just doing red light therapy, the other one just doing detoxes, right? It's such scattered information.
It is.
But we realized that they are doing some of this as a competitive advantage. So we were diving deeper into that, and I already was into functional medicine big time because our son was misdiagnosed 7 times.
And what year was this?
The Guru was filmed in 2022. Our son was misdiagnosed in 2018, between 2018 to 2019. When he was born, 7 misdiagnoses. Can you imagine that? At 5 months old, since he wasn't sleeping still through the night, I was like, something must be up. Let me take him, start checking him out. 7 different hospitals, doctors, all Western medicine technique, right? I mean, he was diagnosed as having a Lyme disease, parasite overload, glyphosate poisoning, on the spectrum, what else? Restless leg syndrome. I'm telling you, 7 complete different diagnoses. With each diagnosis came a medication. Of course, I never took medication. It just didn't feel right. Because I said, if there was 3 opinions that matched, I would take that same medication.
Right.
But it was 7 different opinions and 7 different medications.
Didn't make sense.
I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So turned into functional medicine, started listening to books like, Dr. Steve Gundry's book, and then Dr. Tom O'Brien's Autoimmune Fix completely changed my understanding of health and wellness. So I started diving into that. We saw about 15 practitioners. He had very deep ties with politicians and mayors and stuff like that. So we were actually able to get into some of these functional medicine doctor practices that are not taking new patients.
Wow.
And after this whole research that took me about 8 months, and we spent about $250,000 on this kid. We're like, you're the most expensive kid ever. His name is Legend. He's like, yeah, because I'm Legend.
I was going to say his name matches.
Yeah. It's like, we have to do a documentary called Raising Legend.
Yes.
What a hard task. But we recognize how deep we actually went, and we were able to put the pieces of the puzzle together. He had a genetic mutation, MTHFR gene mutation, and we had mold in the HVAC system. I mean, you need deep research to even put these 2 together.
Absolutely.
What's a regular person going to do to find this, right? I had the resources.
Not as much as you guys.
That's what I'm saying. At least, I had the ability, the resources, the connections, and the time to dig until I found it. Then through homeopathic remedies and basically herbal supplements, we detoxed him. And within 6 months, lights went on. He
Amazing.
was different, speaking like fluent, like auditioning for speaking parts at like 2 years old. Like it was amazing, the change we saw. The dark circles under his eyes were gone. Sleeping 8 to 10 hours straight, not crying, never moody, not fussing, anything. We're like, wow, what could we have done to this kid had we just listened to the first opinion?
Well, think about your wife, right? You guys are getting ready to give birth, right?
Correct.
That's in itself a big taxing on the female body.
It is.
It does a lot. We're in the middle of completing, well, actually, we completed a documentary called Shield, She Healed, women health documentary. It's the biggest. It's got 77 people. Gary Brecka's in it, a bunch of famous people that are practitioners, best experts. They all said the same thing. Women change after having kids drastically. So your wife is there. You're busy building the business. You're traveling, this, that. Now she's there. She wants to do whatever it takes to make the baby healthy, if God forbid something.
Correct.
Now she's listening to this doctor who's got reps under his belt saying, listen, take this pill, do this, do that. I mean, what is she to do? Yeah. What is she to do, right? And she's not maybe necessarily with her full vitamins.
Correct.
Yeah.
So
she's sleepless too.
She's sleepless. So the whole point is we created something that is a resource, something we wish we had. So if you watch our body of work, whether it's, wanting to lose weight and whatever means necessary, whether it's what happens after you lose weight, getting loose skin surgery, whether it's you've been stricken with cancer and want to heal that with nutrition like George Farah did, or whether it's you want to biohack yourself. Now we're doing a biological dentistry documentary.
Ooh.
So that's like next
Don't get
level.
Me started on that.
And dementia, Alzheimer's, all sorts of sickness. I mean, your partner does gut tests.
Yeah.
And he'll tell you a lot of the stuff the root causes from the mouth.
It does.
Besides getting fat and getting sick and what you're putting in your mouth.
Correct.
What you're implanting and what kind of fillings you're doing, root canals, all these things. So we're doing a very deep dive. I nearly died in July. I had a sinus infection. This is me after Fat Lolli, Biohack Yourself, all this kind of stuff.
After you've done all these amazing
biohacking
things.
His brain, and he's like, my brain is firing on all cylinders. His biomarkers are excellent. Boom.
I had an implant that was done incorrectly. It caused a big problem. And I had this problem for like 6 months because we were busy filming. We did a big red carpet premiere for Biohack Yourself in Vegas. We produced the Maha Ball for Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Throughout that whole entire time, I had this infection festering. That was I was starting to lose my eyesight, starting to lose my hearing.
And smell.
Anyway, we started the cameras rolling, and once again, we're creating something we wish we had.
We're actually putting our whole family through biological dental makeovers. Like my mom, his mom, my dad, 60s, 70s, 80s, covering the kids, covering me, the 30s and the 40s. And what has been done wrong with us that's causing certain health ailments that even the most biohacking experiences are not curing. And so that all comes to this small area called your mouth.
You know what I love about all your guys' concepts? You guys use your guys' life, but also experience as social proof for the rest of the viewers.
Yes.
And I think that is the big hook on why you guys are getting so much success. Because even in the small space that I've been in digital marketing for the past 5 years now, I've always used myself as social proof. Like I go ahead and say, well, guys, this is my results. This is what I did.
Awesome.
And it's so much more powerful than go ahead and saying someone else did it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because they're taking your word, they're taking your experience. You guys are using actual personal stories, and it's powerful.
A good friend of ours, Morgan Spurlock, he passed away recently. He did a documentary called Super Size Me. And it was about how he got sick from eating McDonald's. So we decided to do the opposite. We want to show people how we got healthy. And give them the path. And we don't do fear-mongering documentaries where we're pointing the finger at the government or this or that.
Which is great, man.
It's just all solution-based. Like, here's what we're going through. This
True
is what we're doing
entrepreneurs.
ourselves, the real deal. So
and let me ask you this question, guys. So production. What got you guys into thinking about production? Because most people are like, hey, I'll go ahead and vlog. They'll get their iPhone, but you guys full blown, film set, the works. So what came up? Who came up with the idea?
Well, I always had massive passion for entertainment, and like I said, I was in really big movies as an actor. But then when he started filming his transformation journey on a cell phone, and that was back in 2018, 2019.
I had been in production by virtue of being an executive producer, which is the fancy
Yes.
guy who puts up the money.
Yeah.
People were using my homes, my Rolls Royce. I'd work with Raekwon, the from the Wu-Tang, or Spike Lee.
Very cool.
And so I was around that whole thing, and I got a chance to build relationships with a lot of people, a lot of the crew on set.
Yeah.
And I said, I think we should just do this for ourselves.
Right.
Because if you put it in your own control, you could tell your own story. But I understand the demand of quality. So a lot of our productions are $3 to $4 million productions.
Of course, it's very expensive.
And
Best of the best.
the best of the best in the world. Usually, we'll employ 300 to 500 people on a project, whether it's part-time or
start to-
full-time, start to
from start to
finish.
end, yeah.
So a lot of people get employed, and we try to employ people from within that ecosystem.
Right.
So in the case of Biohack Yourself, we got casting directors that were familiar with people in the industry, and we employed them. Now we have journalists that are from the industry. So it's a very interesting way to really help grow.
But we're also, understanding the influencer market and the celebrity market, and how
Yes.
the masses do follow celebrities.
Correct.
So the more Hollywood you make this, the more fun and high level and high quality you make it,
Yeah.
the more people are gonna believe in it and follow it.
Of
right?
course.
Indie stuff may not get the same respect.
Correct.
So we're definitely high believers, and actually people started calling us the Lollies are the Hollywood of biohacking.
Love
so
that.
we bring
I love
that,
that.
vibe, and at the Oscars of Longevity, where 800 people of the top leading experts showed up, we had 10 red carpet stations set up. Each red carpet had its own assistant and a videographer and a photographer, and everyone was scheduled with the PR personnel. Like, it was a real Hollywood experience for doctors and scientists
And it's
who never
different.
even dressed up.
It's different.
It's different. We're honoring the people that are actually making a big change.
Correct.
So
I love that. And what is your guys' plan for the future? I mean, you guys are already doing so much. And I always say when people ask me, hey, like, why don't you stop? you moved to Puerto Rico recently. Why don't you slow down? Because I'm always chasing the greater version of myself, right? Yeah. But it's very inspiring, man, because I'm in my own health journey as well.
Yes.
It's just
And you lost weight.
I did.
I could tell.
I
Yeah,
did.
Yeah.
But it's more on just the principle. Now that I'm having a son, I want to be a role model,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Not just in finances, but I want to look good too. So I want him to be like, wow, dad's like, strong, like a superhero, right?
Yeah.
But what is your guys' vision for your family, everything that you guys are doing right now in the next couple of years?
Well, we're experiential, right? So
Yeah.
right now we're on the journey of biological dentistry and kind of righting our wrongs, like what we talked about with me and my mother and her mother. Her father's flying down to Germany. We're doing a big procedure on him.
Wow.
We really want to extend our family's life. And really, it's something called, there's a lifespan and then there's health span.
Correct.
We recently interviewed a gentleman that was 102 years old. He's a super ager. This guy had, you couldn't tell the difference between all three of us and him. This guy's got his mental
Mentally, yeah.
faculties.
Yeah.
He's coming out in our magazine. We have Laura Trump on the cover of our next magazine.
Wow.
We dedicated a whole page to his interview. We were that impressed. Him and I share the same birthday together.
Is this your guys' magazine?
This
right
is
here?
our
Yes.
magazine.
So
yeah.
guys, Biohack Yourself.
Biohack
There you
yourself.
go.
Because no
You
one
guys
else
have
can
it
do
right
it
here.
for you.
Yeah.
yeah, you have to.
I
Our
love that.
slogan is "Go Biohack Yourself." To
I love
me,
this.
we had this household joke that when J-Lo and Ben Affleck divorced, I was talking to a cousin of mine in Armenia, and somehow that conversation came up, and it just hit me. And I came to Anthony. I was like, "Why is a third world country learning about this kind of information so fast?"
Yeah.
And if so, we can make a platform, which is Biohack Yourself Media, that can just transmit health and wellness information, be at the front lines of all discovery, all technological development, and literally keep the world on the same level of understanding about biohacking, longevity. How do we all go to that 150, right? How do we
Correct.
push the human potential? I'll be happy. My
Yeah.
mom always calls me the Mother TereZa. But basically, that's been my goal of really just elevating everyone's understanding to the same level.
Absolutely. And I think it's needed, with the experts talking on health and gut health.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people understand it. There's a lot of influencer content creators now speaking about it. But, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Some of the technical talk is too technical.
Too technical.
No? So what are you guys doing that's different from the rest?
Yeah, we make it extremely understandable.
I love that.
Even in our documentaries, we brought our kids on set, And so we would have them sit down, let's say with Dr. Daniel Amen, warm him up with the questions and how to simplify things. Then we would sit down and interview him. So our kids would ask, like, where is the brain, right? Like, and he would say, actually, brain is an organ. And you would see his demeanor change completely.
Wow.
And so that's how we were able to capture the most simplified content from top leading complex experts, and we democratize it too. Like, even at the events, we'll be invited to UFC, we'll be invited to Miami Fashion Week and Turning Point USA events, right? We're out there talking to the most optimized and competitive people in politics, in sports, and the elite, and they're all doing some sort of hacks. So we're just bringing that to the people in the most fun and entertaining way. It's like e-news, but all focused on health.
Good. And it's needed, especially in America, I feel like everybody needs to take care of themselves. It's one thing about finances, but it's another thing taking the finances, getting the options, and getting optimized with your health, correct? Yes. So guys, where can my audience find you and more information on all across your platforms?
Well, the simple word is Biohack Yourself. If they Google it, if they chat GPT it, everything that we have, but Biohack Yourself Media is the Instagram. Mm-hmm. My personal Instagram is at Anthony Lolli, Lolli. TereZa's is TereZa with a Z, Lolli, Lolli. So those are the two places. And of course, we have Lolli Brands Entertainment. Yeah.
I love that. And then any of your documentaries that are going to be coming out soon?
Yeah, well, all of our documentaries are streaming. We have Shield coming out soon.
Shield is going to come out.
Biohack Yourself is streaming on all platforms. The magazine is in literally 5,800 retail stores. It's in Barnes & Noble, it's in Publix,
Across
it's
the
in
United
Indigo.
States and
Canada, it's in functional medicine clinics. It's in the hands of every top celebrity and athlete that cares about their health. If you're in this magazine, you're top of your field. If it's a brand, if it's a person that's writing for the magazine, it's top of the field. I mean, we're very proud of it. It's our latest baby.
And the last question I have for the both of you guys is, what is your why? Why do you guys do all this?
Why do we continue to do it? We're obsessed with health and longevity. Mm-hmm. It's kind of, it keeps us together, right? It gamifies life and happiness. And we totally compete with each other all the time with our labs. They're like, what's this level of yours? And the anti-aging pace also, we're competing. Yeah. I actually made it to the top 100 Olympics in the Dunedin pace. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you know that pace. It's Brian Johnson's Olympics, anti-aging Olympics. Wow. So I'm now top 96.
Love that.
He's catching up. But for us, it's a family mission. Like, we love working together, bringing some light to the world. Otherwise, we can do our real estate quiet and just stay behind the scenes, and but there's not a mission behind it. This is a big mission to, I say, save the world.
It's very purposeful and meaningful work because we've designed our lives. Like, our life is a movie, really what it is, and we're writing the script every day.
Correct.
And so we're just directing and starring in our movie called Life.
Yeah, purpose, life by design, leveling up. Yeah. I love it, guys. Guys, that is this episode. My name is Paul Alex with The Level Up. Guys, thank you once again for the 4 million downloads a month. You guys are keeping us on the top of the charts. With that being said, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube, leave a 5-star review, guys, so we can bring other phenomenal guests just like our power couple today. With that being said, guys, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.